Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, ANITA FINLEY.
John Ahlbum is here to talk about a wonderful, wonderful insurance that he has had, United American, that he has and he sells. And I have. I don't sell it, but I have it. And my husband has it. And I get a lot of my friends to get it because United American is, I don't know who started it. Maybe John will tell us that. But John Ahlbum this is what he does in his company. He doesn't handle other insurance. This is the insurance he handles. So it must be pretty good, John.
It's a great company. Actually, the company was founded in 1947 in Texas, and they were a pioneer when Medicare started 50 years ago. They offered one of the first supplement plans, and they've continued to, offer supplements and provide for people across the country. And one of the things that is attractive about United American is what you mentioned before we went on the air, and that was the rates. They probably have one of the most stable rate histories of any company out there, with lowest amount of rate increases on average of anybody.
Why do you think that's true?
Well, what they tell me, and it makes sense, is their home office expense is very low compared to a lot of the other companies. They don't spend a ton of money on advertising. A lot of it's word of mouth, from agent to client, from doctor to client, or doctor or lawyer or accountant. Most of them, they are really great sources of referrals for United American. And just because of their longevity in the marketplace, people know about it. Maybe their parents had United American, or an aunt or an uncle or a neighbor. So when they turn 65 or become eligible for Medicare, that's the company that they think about. And that being the case, United American's been able to keep their home office or fixed expenses down and share that with the policyholders instead of having to, keep raising rates all the time because they're mailing out humongous amounts of brochures or literature or propaganda, whatever you want to call it. And, they're not sponsoring TV shows and stuff like that. So that's how they've actually done it.
Well, that's a very good reason, but I've always been curious why doctors love United American. I mean, I know the first thing, in fact, I fault medical offices because right after they know your name and you call in, the first thing you want to know is what kind of insurance you have. It's like almost obnoxious. But when you say United American, they just have a different attitude. Why is that?
Just because they've been around so long and they know that how well they pay, how quickly they pay the doctors, and that they're always there to take care of the doctors, and I think that's one of the reasons why. Plus, the doctors have known them; they've been consistent, since Medicare started, and I wouldn't think many doctors are still in practice from when Medicare started, but they may have taken over a practice from another doctor and had a lot of people with United American, or maybe their parents had United American. And it's company has been around a long time, and all they do is specialize in basically supplemental plans and mostly Medicare supplements. So it's not like they try to be all things to all people. They specialize in the supplements, and we specialize in supplements too, and specialize in United American. So it's a great match for us.
Yeah, I think that is true. So John Ahlbum is JON AHLBUM, and he is the owner of the local United American. I guess do you say it like that? You're the
Well, I own an agency, and we represent
you own the
United
agency.
American.
Okay, that's a good way to say it. So I always think you're the big guy anyway, but it's better to do it so that nobody else gets upset. Thank you. And if you want information from John as to how you can be associated with United American, call 877-970-5800. 4760. Again, get your pencils out. This is Pencil Talk Radio. It's 877-970-4760. I'm Anita Finley, and we are telling you about United American, which is a Medicare supplement. And maybe, because there's always confusion, what is a Medicare supplement compared to all the other insurance policies?
Well, a supplement is actually secondary to Medicare. Medicare is primary. But unlike the HMOs and the PPOs and the Medicare Advantage plans, a supplement gives the policyholder freedom of choice. They can go to any doctor, any hospital that accepts Medicare, which is pretty widespread. And they can go anywhere in the country, with no networks, restrictions, no referrals or anything else. All they need to do is make an appointment and go. The 5 major cancer hospitals in the country don't accept any of the Medicare Advantage plans, but they all accept Medicare. That's one consideration that people should, think of. A lot of the clinics and diagnostic places will accept Medicare and won't accept Advantage plans. And what if, there's so much transit or snowbird, whatever you want to call it, but people that have multiple homes or 2 homes, and they're here in the winter and they're back up north or somewhere in the summer, this is totally transportable, so they can take it with them and get, keep their doctor at home, plus have their doctor here without any problems with, crossing network lines or anything like that. It's just a matter of having Medicare and the supplement, and they've got the freedom to go anywhere they want and do anything, just like you've been doing.
Yep. In fact, I was going to ask you, when it says true automatic claims filing, is that because I never file anything?
Yeah, you don't have to file any paperwork. It's all done, and everything now is electronic, and so it's just, boom, goes to Medicare, and then it crosses over and goes to United American, too.
Well, do other policies, is theirs automatic?
Starting now in this century, a lot more of it is automatic, just the way the system is set up. So yes, I would say it used to be something that was unique to United American and an option, but now it's pretty well established.
Okay, because I have never been bothered. As a matter of fact, I did have a couple of companies. Well, I guess I get some prescriptions that are done up for me, especially, and they send the thing to me and they tell me that I should go and send it in.
Really?
Yes. They don't file for you.
Oh, wow.
So I haven't really ever had a filing form.
And that's what's so great, and we can always look up claims for policyholders and make sure that they got paid, and if they didn't, as an agency, we're here to help them.
Oh, good, because I didn't really know what to do, because it's so unusual. I couldn't believe it. They sent it to me. I said, what do you want me to do with it? Well, you have to file it. File a claim? I don't know what filing a claim even means.
Right, especially with a prescription plan. That's kind of difficult.
Yeah. Okay, well, we can talk about that another time, but it wasn't a lot of money, but it was just different, and that's why I was very curious about it. So does age matter? So let's say someone comes to you and they're 90. Can they still be a part of United American?
Sure. In fact, funny you mention that. I just enrolled a husband and wife who are both in their late 80s, and he will be 90 next month.
Great. Well, you're going to have them for a long time. The older people are living a long time, John.
They are, and that's great.
It is. In 1992, Bill and I wrote a book called Live to be 100 Plus, and they didn't believe us then. But but it's true. So people just have to take good care of themselves and do lots of interesting things. We just spoke with the Kravis Center before we're doing your interview, and they were talking about all their fantastic shows, and they want volunteers, and so you got to keep alive and do a lot of good things, and that's how you'll be there for John for a long, long time. The longer they live, the better it is for you.
Exactly.
So we want them to live a long time. And the youngest, of course, they have to be Medicare age. I guess that would be, 65?
Yes. I mean, there is disability Medicare for people under 65 after they've been on Social Security disability for 2 years and they're eligible for Medicare.
Ah, I didn't know how that worked. I see. Now, do you have a lot of other Medicare supplement companies in competition?
Yes, there's quite a few in Florida, and it's all across the country. But we've managed to help United American stay at the top just because of the faith that we have in the company. One of the things I really like about United American, and I share it on every appointment, is that all of their customer service, all of their agent service, everything that they do is done domestically, and it's all handled in their home office in either in Texas or in Oklahoma. A lot of the other companies, who even the ones with Medicare Advantage plans as well as supplements, have gone offshore, so to speak, with their customer service, and it's horrendous. And policyholders have an awful job getting anything straightened out.
So you're saying that, like, when I call on my cell phone a problem or something and you get people who I can hardly understand,
Yes.
You're telling me that's what's happened with them?
Uh-huh.
But United American is strictly in the United States. Now, I think this is a very important subject.
I do, too.
Oh.
I mean, you may get somebody with a Texas accent that might sound a little strange. But
we can handle that. We can
Yes.
handle that. Well, and of course, I teach sensitivity training to a lot of HMOs and a lot of banks and a lot of other places, and it's always when I do my unfair hearing test for people, it's obvious that they can't even hear if you speak English the way your friends speak. So when you start
Right.
hearing people who have accents, that must be impossible.
Oh, I can imagine. I mean, and especially if somebody has a problem and they're not feeling well.
Oh. Yep. Well, are they now? But your clients, people who you have gotten the policy from, they're the ones that would call you if they're having a problem, right?
Yes.
Okay, and I think it's a good thing for me to give your phone number again. Here's a way for you to jump in now, buy a Medicare supplement with United American through JON Ahlbum. It's the Ahlbum Group, and their number is 877-970-4760. And you can actually go on his website, which is ahlbumgroup.com, ahlbumgroup.com. Did I send you your YouTube when you were on the radio show? Have you ever?
I don't think so.
Have you been on YouTube from any of your radio shows? You don't know that you have. Well, this is going to be your first. You see,
Okay.
This is very exciting. What we're going to do is take this show, and we have a picture of you, I think, somewhere. You may have to send me one. You ought to send me a picture when we get off to my email address, would you please? And then we
Sure.
put your picture on, and then we will do this interview, and then you can put it on your website if you want. And then if you
Beautiful.
get onto YouTube, you just put if you put YouTube in your name, this will come up.
Terrific.
Yeah, we're growing. We're doing everything we can to keep up with social media and make all our advertisers very happy.
It's amazing the way things have changed in the last few years, isn't it?
Well, especially for us in this business, because we have to stay there. We have to be ahead of the crowd, and
That's right.
It's exciting.
That's right.
But it makes us stay on the computer a lot more and all. But I want to just talk about insurance, because there's nothing more confusing for a person in their 20s or 30s or 40s than to start dealing with insurance problems. And now, as one ages, it's really confusing. So having an agent that will be there to be able to explain things and work on it with you, that is key in an older adult's life, John.
Oh, I agree. And I like to say that we don't sell Medicare supplements. We educate people about Medicare supplements, and then they end up buying one because they like what they hear.
Well,
but that's really what I think the whole process is: education and making them feel comfortable about Medicare and understand what Medicare is all about.
right. And people will say, okay, but it costs money and I can get it free from the government. What do you say to that? Well, make believe that has just happened, because I think I'm sure people say that.
They can, but what they get for free is nowhere near what they could get if they were paying for it, and it's kind of like a free lunch. There's no such thing as a truly free lunch, and there's truly no such thing as free care. The free plans or the Advantage plans are supposed to mirror Medicare, but in a lot of cases they don't, and they don't pay all the benefits that Medicare would pay to a policyholder, and they're limited as to what doctors you can go to, what procedures you can have done, and on top of that, people on the Advantage plans are locked in for a year, but yet their doctors aren't. Their doctors can come and go anytime they want, or whenever their contract's up. So halfway through the year, people can end up doctor shopping, and that's not fun when you're in your 70s or 80s to start looking for a new doctor.
So with a United American, though, you don't have to worry about that because you follow the doctor.
Exactly. And if the doctor leaves a practice or goes on his own, he's still your doctor.
Well,
the other thing is a lot of the retirement, adult retirement communities or adult living, however you want to do it, not an assisted living thing, but some of the adult homes now or communities don't accept any of the Advantage plans. I mean, they all provide some type of medical care and stuff at the facility, but they won't accept Advantage plans. So that those people, if they have Advantage, they're not going to get any of the care, and a lot of what they moved into the facility or the community for isn't available to them. And a lot of them don't realize until it's too late. So that's another educational thing that we have to do to try to help them.
Okay, well, it's a confusing business, but it's best to take the easy route and just know that John's right. You do get what you pay for. And I just have to do this personally. My husband, Bill, has been through 4 hip operations, 1 knee operation where he had 2 knees done at the same time. Let me think if there's been anything else. Those are probably the major things. I haven't had any problems, but other than just going to doctors. But there's never been a problem with that. Everything was paid. We never paid anything that I can recall out of pocket. And I can hardly believe and he got the very best doctors. He was able to look for the best doctors and get them. So I can imagine what it may have been if we hadn't been with United American.
Oh, it could have been, it could have been very costly, and it could have been nowhere near as successful.
And we wouldn't get to choose the doctor, would we, if it's not on the plan?
Right.
Because actually, I don't think this doctor is on any of the HMO plans.
A lot of doctors aren't. A lot of them are leaving now. I mean, they're just more and more every year are opting out of the Advantage plans and just staying in private practice without the, signing contracts and stuff with the Advantage plans. And they want to be able to take care of seniors, but they want to be able to help them make their health care decisions. A lot of the Advantage plans, the doctor doesn't get to make a decision. It's made by an accountant or somebody out in the Midwest in one of the home offices that says, well, no, that's too expensive. I don't think we'll do that for them. And with a supplement, the policyholder and the doctor together make the decisions as to what the best medical care is for them.
Interesting. You should bring that up, John, because I go to a doctor that talks about that a lot, and he tells me about some of his patients. And if he really thinks that they need more than the HMO is offering, he goes to bat for them. He goes, he goes crazy, but he spends a lot of extra time to do that.
And then what happens is, with a lot of those doctors that do go to bat for the patient, when it comes time for their contract to be renewed, the HMO declines to renew it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I can see why.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
yeah, you're
unfortunate.
right.
Right. Unfortunately, it's a money business. I mean, look, everyone has to make money. We all do that. But medical, we know, for especially older adults, medical is their survival. That's how they're going to live. That's how they're going to live to be 100 plus. And sometimes it's very fair, but there are many times when it's not fair. And
right.
And even if you can't afford a medical supplement yourself, you should talk to your kids and ask them. Maybe you're short $50 a month or $100 a month to do it. They would pay that if they knew what the difference is. So don't let any of this keep you from looking into it, calling John, seeing what the difference is. And you've worked hard all your life. You've put in the time with your family. I'm sure if they thought that's what you would like, they probably would help you. So the number to call again for John Ahlbum's office is 877-970-4760. And you can get online to see this charming gentleman. I think you have your picture on the website.
Yes.
I know you do.
I do.
Yeah, I know.
And I'll send you an up-to-date picture.
Okay. Oh, an up-to-date picture, right. Okay, so it's ahlbumgroup.com, ahlbumgroup.com. And it is, you just talk to anyone in the business about United American, and I'm sure that they will agree, yes, it's, if not the finest company, it's one of the finest companies. And they've been in business, as John said, since the 1940s. Another good point was when you talk to people, they're not going to be out of the country, because a lot of times things will be confusing and you want to explain and you want that other person to understand and also to speak to you clearly. And if their Texas accent is too strong, call John and he'll help you.
I'll decipher.
Yeah, you decipher what it is. So for John Ahlbum, it's a nice thing to have a business where people are happy and he can earn a good living. And how long have you been actually with United American?
19 years.
19 years. That is a long time to be with one company.
Yes.
And I'm sure, and you said that, I guess when you first joined them, you didn't just have one company. You were using a lot of others?
Mm-hmm. Way back, back then. But they quickly became a favorite just because of their kind of personal touch. It's like almost like family, as an agent or a policyholder.
So what?
And I didn't feel that treatment or that love or whatever you want to call it from other companies.
Right. Well, this is great. So you have to deal with people who've been in this business for a long time. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people now, young people, who they were selling. I don't know if they're selling shoes or appliances or something else, and now all of a sudden, a lot of them were in real estate. Yes, a lot of them were real estate, and they're not making money there, so they jump into another business. And it isn't that they're bad people, but I think when you're dealing with insurance or financial, you really should be talking to someone who's been around a long time, because they know what they're talking about. They've been proven. If they have done things that were wrong, they wouldn't be around for a long time. So how do you think about that, John?
That's a great point. If you don't do it right, you aren't around. And I really love this business because I feel our business is helping people. And every time you help somebody, you feel good. And all day long, we help people with their decisions, and after they made the decision, if they have a problem with a claim or they need advice on something, we're here to help them and stay with them. I mean, I strongly believe that customer service is the backbone of any business, and especially something like insurance. And we've built our reputation on taking care of our clients.
Pays off. You know, that's what there are people that go to these seminars to learn, you know, how to get more business, and what they should be learning is how to take care of the business that they have, because as you said, you'll get referrals and people will people will help you. That's what's so nice. I mean, that's why I guess some of us have kept our CPAs for years, and there's always people out there wanting your business, but if you can lean back on the person that you've spoken with and you know that they're going to take care of you, then you stay with them.
I agree. I mean, I think we all do that. We all have people that we've been satisfied with over the years, and we go back to them, and you go to the same dry cleaner. If the dry cleaner teeth
they don't lose too many of your shirts.
Yeah, you go, but I mean, you stay with your same doctor if you're happy with them, and those kinds of things. And that's the same with our business, and the same with your business too, Anita.
Yeah, it is. We've had a lot of people for a long, long time. But I want to just go back over some of the things in your ad that I think are important. That's just the competitive pricing. That means, I guess, that of all the other supplements out there, that you feel that yours is very fair.
It is. It definitely. And in some cases, we have the very lowest rates in the state on some of the policies.
Okay. And then the freedom to choose physicians and facilities on all plans. And that I can attest to, that I never think where I want to go, I never think that they won't take what I have. That's what that's about, isn't it?
Exactly. And there's another factor that I think is really important, the fact that it's guaranteed renewable. So long as the premiums are paid, it doesn't make any difference what type of claims or how many claims or anything that somebody has. The policy is renewable, and they can't be singled out for a rate increase. It has to be, the only way it can happen is if it's done statewide.
Well, we haven't talked about that, so that's great. So now that we're out of time, we'll get you on YouTube, and maybe another day we can even talk about that. That's a very good point. So, John, have a great month, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you, Anita, and I'll get you a picture.